All right, so after the conclusion of what appears to be the end of the rap beef between Drake and Kendrick Lamar, we have some songs to rank here because they had a lot of fire drops during the duration of this diss. First, Kendrick Lamar got everything started with Like That, and then J. Cole threw the first jab with the 7-minute drill, which was, you're gonna see why I have it ranked, but I'm gonna leave it at that. Then Drake dropped Pushups. Rick Ross responded to Pushups with Champagne Moments. I mean, hey, Like That pretty much started the whole debacle that we have. So in today's video, we are going to rank every single song that was a part of the diss, starting with Like That. So the only song that's going to be excluded from this list is the Like That remix by Kanye, because man, honestly, who really asked for that? I mean, personally, I think it sounds like a Kanye song, but the consensus is saying that we ain't asked for that. So anyway, so these are going to be the songs that are being ranked. So as you see here, you have Like That, 7-minute drill, Pushups, Champagne Moments, Tailor-Made Freestyle, Euphoria, 616 in LA, Family Matters, you have Meet the Grams, and you have Not Like Us. You got a lot of fire songs that's in a rotation that we're going to rank here. So anyway, get your popcorn ready. I'm going to get started, and I'm gonna try to work myself from lower tier to top tier and what I think is the best song. So anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. So starting out, Might Delete Later, 7-minute drill. So my honest take on 7-minute drill, of course, kudos to J. Cole for being the first one to take a stab at actually responding to the Like That verse. I mean, personally, Like That as a whole was a good song. The beat was fire. Metro made some drums. He did his thing. Future is Future, of course. Whatever he touches, gold. But Kendrick Lamar, he set the world on fire, and he had to check a couple people, which personally I think this song should probably be in the mix too. You had First Person Shooter, to where J. Cole kind of gave Kendrick Lamar and Drake a shout out. Who want to argue the hardest MC? Is it K. Dot? Is it Aubrey and me? We the big three like we started the league. And then Kendrick Lamar in his verse and Like That said, F the big three, it's just big me. So of course, like J. Cole, people was looking at him like, hey, what you gonna do? 7-minute drill, it was his response to what he was going to do. And personally, I think that the song was weak. Honestly, you could tell that J. Cole didn't want to do it. His heart wasn't really in it. He's a lover, not a fighter. He's in tune with his spirit. He's all about positivity and making a change and being friendly. And it just wasn't J. Cole-like, and you could hear it in the song. Personally, J. Cole is one of my favorite rappers of all time. I actually got a couple of videos. I'm gonna go ahead and put one of them. I just did on them, top right of the screen, where I had to apologize because initially, whenever J. Cole first apologized after the song, I was very critical of him. So, but the actual song itself was very mid. I'll say even like weak. He kind of stole some cadence from Nas and some bars from Nas. He even had some The Takeover references in there. So, I mean, you could tell that it was New York beef inspired, but bad song. I'll say arguably the worst song on Might Delete Later, in my humble opinion. And it was last, and that's why he deleted it. So going here, I'm gonna go ahead and put Might Delete Later as D tier, which is the worst tier I could possibly put it in. Next song, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about Tailor-Made Freestyle. So I started the beef pretty late. Of course, I heard Like That. Of course, I heard the 7-minute drill. But as far as this song right here, Tailor-Made Freestyle, I actually heard Tailor-Made Freestyle before I heard Pushups. So of course, to my surprise, I'm scrolling my computer on Friday night, and then I check my phone, I go to Instagram, I see Drake dropped a song in response to Like That. And of course, that was kind of the buzz that was going around, like, hey, what is Drake gonna do? Is he gonna respond? Of course, whenever he first dropped Pushups, a lot of people thought it was AI, which I'll talk about Pushups a little later, but I didn't pay it any mind until he made it official on his DSPs. Tailor-Made Freestyle, initially when I heard the song, I was like, wow. I was just taken away from the AI that he used in the song. He channeled his inner Tupac and Snoop Dogg, which for those of y'all that don't know, is Kendrick Lamar's heroes. I thought that was actually a clever play to actually poke the bear and make him rap and respond, which ultimately 17 days later, it led to a response from Kendrick Lamar. So as far as the Tailor-Made Freestyle, like I said, a lot of people thought it was weak, corny. I thought it was actually clever. I actually thoroughly enjoyed the song my first listen. The more I listened to it, I'm like, hey, it's not a bad song. So I'm gonna go ahead and put Tailor-Made Freestyle. Man, where am I gonna put this thing? Let's go ahead and I like it. Personally, I like it. I'm gonna go ahead and put it at B tier. Next song, we'll talk about Champagne Moments. So in Pushups, Drake kind of went at everybody. He was talking about it's a 20v1. He had some jabs at, of course, Metro, Future, Rick Ross, A$AP Rocky, of course, Kendrick Lamar. Rick Ross, he took offense to that. He had to make some responses. And of course, in classic Rick Ross fashion, he did it so elegantly. You know, he did it smooth. He had a Rick Ross type beat. You know, I like the flow that he had on it. He had multiple references to what he called Drake white boy, because, you know, for those of y'all that don't know, Drake is biracial, which personally, you know, if you watch Rick Ross Instagram stories, I thought it was hilarious, man. That was probably the comical side of this beef, and I don't know how Rick Ross just got into this, because, you know, originally it was between, you know, Drake and Kendrick Lamar, but he somehow worked himself into the beat. But Champagne Moments, I think it was a good song, so I'm gonna go ahead and put Champagne Moments. Music video was good too. I'm gonna put a B tier. I'm a Rick Ross fan, man. You know, Rick Ross, one of my favorite rappers, and classic Rick Ross flow. So next, looking at this list, and I noticed that I'm missing a song here. The Heart Part 6. Man, we're just gonna skip past that. Let's just go ahead and keep going. So the next song I'm gonna go ahead and put on the list. Let's go ahead and talk about Family Matters. So Family Matters, man, it was a really good song. Well thought out, well put together. You could see that whenever Pushups dropped, he already had Family Matters in the clip, ready to be shot, ready to be thrown out to the public. It was 3 songs in one. I think the whole track all together was about 7 minutes. I'm a fan of it. The production quality was great. I like the reference he made to Kendrick Lamar. He said, Kendrick just opened his mouth. Somebody give him a Grammy right now. like I thought like he had like some comedic punches that he thrown toward Kendrick. And it's Drake, man. Drake is a hit maker. He makes good music. With this song Family Matters, man, I'm gonna go ahead. I gotta put it A tier. I thought it was a good song. Personally, after he dropped Family Matters, I was like, ooh, man, Kendrick gotta come with it. He gotta come with it, because he did his thing on Family Matters. And since we're on the topic of Drake, I'm gonna go ahead and rank Pushups, man. So Pushups, I think it was a good classic response by Drake. It was very Drake-like. I like the beat. The song is catchy. Drop and give him 50. You know, I'm all about fitness and exercise. The Metro line, Metro's such your dumb and make some drums. I mean, hey man, that line, man, and that's another thing that's kind of funny, man, because Metro, man, I wish it had BBL Drizzy on here, but man, like kind of like with the Rick Ross versus Drake beef, man, the Metro beef versus Drake, man, it's been hilarious to watch, man. Just those two go back at it on Instagram, Twitter, you know, so just the fact that he said, hey, shut your dumb up and make some drums, I'm gonna try to censor that out, but you know, I thought that was kind of funny, man. So with Pushups, I'm gonna go ahead. I gotta put that at A tier too, man. I can't put it up here just because, you know, I heard it late. When the song originally came out, you know, it was alleged that the song was AI. It was artificial intelligence, man, until he remastered the song and dropped it on a DSP. So, and I got into it late, but I think it was actually a very creative, good song. I do not like the aspect where he actually disses the whole industry. I would have liked him to keep it kind of like just between him and Kendrick Lamar, but he had a lot of enemies because of that song Pushups. Now, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about Kendrick Lamar. Meet the Grams. Meet the Grams, man. I'm gonna go ahead. We gotta put Meet the Grams here on S tier, man. And this is why. So, it's kind of funny, as soon as Family Matters dropped, and this was actually, this was a Friday night, but as soon as Family Matters dropped, literally like minutes behind Family Matters, Kendrick Lamar dropped Meet the Grams, man. And it was clever. The song is very eerie. It's very vile. Kendrick Lamar, he alleged that Drake did a lot of foul things. Of course, now it kind of painted the picture that made people kind of look at Drake a little bit weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, Drake, is this true? Like, are you serious? Like, you know, with the allegations that's kind of being thrown his way, was saying that he has another child and that he did a lot of filthy things. And to start off the song, you know, Kendrick Lamar was actually talking to his son Adonis, which I thought, like, starting off, like, that's savage. Like, golly, you know, like, you gonna talk to the man's son? You gonna talk to the man mama, saying that I hope that he die. We don't need people like him. Like, I wish he died. Talking to, you know, Drake's dad, Dennis Graham, saying that, hey, you the reason why he's like this, and talking to Drake's alleged daughter. And I mean, man, the song was just wow. Very strategically planned and executed to perfection. And it really got the image in a lot of people's minds in which Kendrick wanted to portray, that Drake is some not so great things. Of course, that's why I gotta put the song at S tier. Next, I'm gonna go ahead. Let's do Like That. Why not? Let's do Like That. Of course, with Like That, I'm gonna go ahead and I gotta put it S tier because that's the reason why we're even having this conversation in the first place. If Like That didn't come out and Kendrick Lamar didn't call out Drake and J. Cole in that song saying after Big 3 is just Big Me, we wouldn't even had this whole beef from the get-go. Drake wouldn't know that. I guess he had beef, with all these artists, which I don't know. I think he might have already known that because he had the song What Would Pluto Do in the whole nine, him and Metro. Metro took his song off an album before because he was set on how the album was. So they got a history, but man, if it wasn't for Like That and Kendrick Lamar actually like making waves and it's setting the industry on fire and making people have that hunger and want to rap, we wouldn't be having this discussion about all these great songs that came from this song Like That. So with that being said, it has to be S tier. Personally, I'm gonna go ahead and I gotta say Like That, I gotta put it like at the very tip top of the S tier because that song is the reason why we got all this great music in the mix. So next, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about 616 in LA. I gotta give this song a solid, I gotta put this song in the B tier, and this is why. So with 616 in LA, this was a back-to-back type song. And in Euphoria, we'll actually talk about that song a little bit later. Euphoria, Kendrick Lamar, he hinted and he alluded to, hey, back-to-back, I like that record because he had the anticipation of dropping this song, 616 in LA, back-to-back to Euphoria. And personally, I think the song was great. It was creative. I like the smooth Al Green beat. I like the references where he said, hey, you got some people in your camp OVO you might want to think, but some of them is working for me. Out of 100 people, you got 20 people that's, that want to see you lose. Want to see you get executed. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of like put a bug in Drake's mind, like, oh snap, I got a Judas or a couple Judases that's in my camp. And he actually made reference to that in Family Matters, you know what I'm saying? So I think it was very creative. 616 in LA, kind of like with the song I'm gonna talk about a little bit later with Euphoria, they were more like warning shots because Kendrick, he didn't really get like too dirty, too in depth with what was going on. He hinted toward a couple things, but like he wasn't like, hey, meet the grams where you forced my hand and now I gotta tell the world about your dirty laundry. 616 in LA, I'm gonna go ahead and put it at B tier, and that's where we at with it. All right, so next, personally, this is what I think, two of the best songs by far in the series. I'm gonna go ahead and start with Not Like Us. The hottest song in the country right now. Probably gonna be Billboard #1 and debut at Billboard #1. Trending #1 on YouTube. Trending #1 on TikTok. Trending #1 on Instagram. You got the world dancing to this song. You got the world crip walking to this song. Los Angeles is unified from this song. You got a whole bunch of anthems. You got the acronym FAN. You got OV-HO. You got man, you got a whole bunch of stuff in that song where it's more of like a celebratory song because this drove the nail in the coffin. This solidified the W, in my opinion, for Kendrick Lamar. And it came right after Meet the Grams. He pretty much he took us through we felt all types of emotions with Kendrick Lamar. First, with Euphoria, he made you think. Then with 616, he made you anticipate. Then with Meet the Grams, he showed you what's really happening or his truth to what Drake really is. So you got informative, you got anticipation, you got, oh crap, this is the information. And then you got, hey, I won this thing. Not Like Us, man. Like I said, probably, in my opinion, as far as diss tracks go, where you got the whole world on your side. This song is being played at baseball games, basketball games. It's being played on TV. You got celebrities in the club dancing to your song. I just seen a clip from LeBron James dancing to Not Like Us in the club, which was hilarious. This dude made an anthem. This is kind of like comparable. And I'll say this is probably even on a larger scale from what Drake did with Back to Back. And this song is gonna be rapped and sung and danced to for probably the rest of the year, man. Whenever the college football season start, you're gonna have a whole bunch of people playing Not Like Us, man. So this song, historically, the implications that this song has, arguably one of the greatest diss tracks of all time. On the same level as Ether, in my opinion, because this song is gonna be remembered for all of eternity. And this brings you to the last song. You have Euphoria. So where am I gonna put Euphoria? I gotta put it at S tier, man. So my take on Euphoria, great song. This was Kendrick Lamar's first response since his verse on Like That. Euphoria had so many bars. It was 6 minutes and 30 seconds long. It has so many bars to dissect that the website Genius literally crashed because of how many people was inputting their ideas of what he was talking about with his verses, their insight. The website literally crashed. Right behind Not Like Us, you got Euphoria. Like I said, 6 minutes and 30 seconds of just straight bars, like surgery. Like Kendrick Lamar, man, he just dissected Drake with that track. And What's the Dirt? By far one of the best YouTubers in the game whenever it comes to breaking down songs. This man has been literally working on the Euphoria dissection track for weeks. I think it's been like about a week and a half. He said this is probably going to be his longest video yet. And this guy got some long videos. Like, he goes in depth. He talks about the music. He goes bar for bar. Anything that's of importance he mentions. And this guy is still working on the video to this day because that's how many bars and that's how much information Kendrick Lamar had in Euphoria. This dude, Kendrick Lamar, easily won the beef. And if you look at the tier list here, every song that's on the top tier with the exception of 616 in LA was at the top, S tier. Every song. Like That was the cause of this beef in the first place. It made rappers wake up. It made J. Cole take a very weak punch, but he threw a punch. You know, then you got Meet the Grams. Meet the Grams was a very dirty, vile song. I'll say Meet the Grams is kind of on par with I'll say the story of Adidon, maybe, the type of picture that it painted of Drake. Then you have Not Like Us. Not Like Us, man, one of the best diss tracks dropped in the history of music. On par, like I said, on par with No Vaseline, Ether, The Takeover. You know, you have a lot of Hit 'Em Up. You have a lot of classic, rap disses or rap beefs that happened in the history of the sport of hip hop. And Not Like Us is definitely easily top 5. I would even argue top 3. Like I said, I got to put it up there with, personally, I had No Vaseline, Ether, and I had Hit 'Em Up. Man, that's tough because, hey, No Vaseline is arguably the greatest song of all time when it comes to diss tracks. I don't know. I gotta put Not Like Us at least in the top 5. We'll go ahead and discuss that at a later date where it actually sits, but arguably one of the greatest diss tracks of all time. So anyway, so let me know. I'm gonna go ahead and give a final look at this tier list. So anyway, let me know what y'all think. I'm gonna go ahead and put the link to this tier list down below to where you can actually make your own tier list. Share it with me. Drop it in the comments. Let me know what you come out with. Comment down below if you agree with my list. Personally, I think if it was anybody but Kendrick Lamar, Drake would have won the beef. Well, or Pusha T. But Kendrick Lamar, man, to the type of depths that he went to in order to come out victorious, his pen. In my opinion, Kendrick Lamar was number 1. In that big 3, I'll say Kendrick Lamar. I had J. Cole at 2, but Kendrick Lamar, Drake, J. Cole. The battle, it took place between the 2 people that we needed to take place with. You had 1 and 2. You had the best pure rapper in the game, and then you had the best hip hop artist, pop star, Drake. Hit maker, music seller. Anyway, that's my tier list. That's my takeaway. I'm gonna go ahead and try to do a quick edit of this and drop the video. Let me know what you think down below. Check out one of these other videos. I just talked about J. Cole. I did a couple reactions. I'm gonna go ahead and put in one of the reactions I did here. Probably gonna be Not Like Us. And anyway, sub to the channel if you haven't already. We dropping gems over here. We dropping heat. Love you. Peace.